In this video, I'll be teaching you how to design a set for your trading card game. So whenever I design a set, I take a random notebook or sketchbook, it can be literally anything, and I just start bulleting down a bunch of points. Now, this is actually a set plan for Epic Wars TCG, so I've been doing this ever since one of my first card games ever. And I found a rhythm that actually works really well. Because when designing a TCG set, you want there to be some sort of theme so that it draws players or hooks them into wanting to collect a set. Because let's say a set of cards that is just kind of like every other card or don't really have a theme is not very enticing. It's like, would you rather get a set all based around a Frozen, Tundra style epic battle area, or would you just get them that just kind of come from wherever? You know, it's not as exciting, so you gotta have something that draws the player in. So you got your set. Think of a theme. Now, themes can be anything from making a set about robots, animals, space, Arabian desert, kind of like Magic did, or even like an ice area. Now, having a theme like this can really give flavor to your cards, and then you can also add two other things to make your set even better. You can add some lore. Now, again, you don't have to do a theme. You can just do like a new mechanic or just lore, or you can do all three of them. It really depends on what you're looking for in a set. Lore-wise, you can just add a bunch of cards with really cool flavor text, and you can like write out a whole story and then make cards based on each important event on the story. That's often really fun. I've never really done that, but I've seen a lot of people do it, like Chaos Galaxy. He was designing a whole story for his lore, and he made cards based on the lore. So if that is what you want to do that, because that's awesome. Then you could also add a new mechanic. Maybe you want to add a whole new card type, like maybe a terrain card, where you have all your creatures and stuff, but maybe a new terrain card is there and it affects your whole playfield and your opponents. Or maybe you just want to add a new ability. Like Magic often adds new keyword abilities. Now, I did a video recently on are keywords good for TCGs? And if you like them, you know, why not? But if you don't, then you can just try doing a new ability that isn't a keyword, like maybe just kind of a massive archetype in one set. Or it could just be like a smaller expansion. It really is up to you. Now, if it's your first set of your TCG ever, honestly, a theme is often kind of hard because when it's your first TCG, you just want to get out a bunch of really generic cards. So something that you could enhance for your first set is just adding a bunch of archetypes. Like you could do an archetype about bugs, an archetype about knights, maybe an archetype about like snakes or something. And that is often a good supplement instead of a theme if you are looking for that. Another thing I've seen recently is like people are taking their classic characters but changing them slightly. Like Last 10 Elementals has his classic character of like Mod, like which is a fish, and then he makes it infected. So the set's theme is like an infected set. Or for mine, I did like my classic characters and I made them mechanized. So they're all like the parts of their body are more machine-like and cyborg. So that's another thing you could do when designing a set. Now, when creating cards for a set, you really should add quite a few of these. There's like things that make a set worth getting. If a set has this, and let's say your players are doing a draft, your base set might have some staple cards, but if someone's getting a set, they should also have these types of cards just in case they don't have access to the other sets. And these are just really good things to add in any set. So you need some draw support because draw support is one of the most important things in TCGs. Now, I just made a video about this, draw support in TCGs, which teaches you how to actually add balanced draw support because this is often a thing that is way too overpowered in some games and it makes it unbalanced. So just be careful with adding draw support. But here are a few really good examples. Like you could look at the top two cards and then rearrange them and then draw a card, or draw a card, then rearrange the top two, or if losing, then draw X amount of cards, or look at the top three and you may shuffle your library, then draw a card. So if you don't like the top three cards, you can shuffle it and then draw, or if you like it, then you can just draw. So there's a bunch of different things you could do. So yeah, you definitely need some really good draw support. Then you also need some fun strategies. You don't just want there to be a bunch of vanilla cards, unless maybe it's set one, of course, but you want some strategies so players aren't just like there's not just all aggro cards. There can be some control cards. There can be some really sneaky combos that not even you knew about, or maybe you secretly planned but you didn't want to tell the players, and they can basically discover them. And I know a lot of people don't like gamble types, but I would add just a few cards in each set just to attract to some of those players that just kind of want to have fun with the game. But definitely don't really make it a main mechanic unless that's what you're going for. Then you gotta do like some spam, like where you do a bunch of tokens and stuff, or you can just invent your own new playstyle. Like I remember one time I made the Shank Tank, which basically you want cards in your discard pile, and it powers up this one card. And like you want to just keep getting your Shankfish in the discard pile and just building that up. So you basically just want your cards to die, so then that this one singular card can do one massive game-winning hit. So that's like a cool style that you could do. And then you also want board wipes and counters, aka the removal cards. So when your opponent plays a really powerful spell, you want to be able to have the chance of stopping it. Or if your opponent has a full board of cards and you only have one card, you want some board wipes. Now make these cards rather expensive, especially the board wipes, because then it'll allow the other player to catch up. So those are just some things. I might be missing a few things, but of course, a bunch of other really good TCG creators have videos like this, like Shard TCG, so go check them out too. Then you gotta actually plan your set. So let's go back to this old journal. I basically wrote down a bunch of this set that I was making was the rock set, and the archetype was the rock cards, but it also focused on adding a new mechanic, which was terrain. So I added 2 cool things. There was no lore or anything. I just wanted to focus on the mechanics and stuff. So this was actually a 60 card expansion set, and I basically did all the cards that I needed. There's like some staples in each one that you kind of just need, but then I also added just a bunch of really fun strategies. And this set was so fun because unlike all my other previous Epic Wars sets, this one had a theme. So people would get this set, build a deck around it, and it's almost like the planetary collections for Chaos Galaxy. They're basically archetype surrounded kits that you can get, or expansions, and they just allow you to build a new fun deck that isn't like everyone else's. So whether it's a set you're designing or expansion, I hope these kind of tips helped you. And of course, if you have any questions, please comment down below and I will be sure to answer them. But yeah, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.